What exactly makes for a good creator laptop, and how would it be possible for a single device to tick all the boxes, considering that the world of modern content creation is such an immense field in itself? As you guys might be aware, my background is in photography and especially digital retouching, which I would consider pretty much the classic OG creator fields. And this is also why we organized a little shoot for today to showcase which kind of workloads your digital creator buddy would need to be able to handle. To make it all possible, Asus sent us their new ProArt P16 powered by AMD's Ryzen AI 9HX370 and sponsored today's video so we could also exchange our studio for something more fitting to do a professional photo shoot. But enough talk for now. Together with my good friend and model Michael, we are going to shoot a few photos, and I will walk you through everything we have been doing and explain exactly why the Team Red powered P16 is such a competent digital partner for all of your creative endeavors. For most studio productions nowadays, you shoot straight into your laptop, so the pictures will not show up on your camera's display as usual, but will be transferred directly to your notebook. Why? Well, first and foremost, it allows you to take advantage of the much bigger display, which would of course be a full 60-inch in our case for the P16, and again, you would not have to copy everything in between sets, and since we are shooting in RAW for the best results possible, you can also directly adjust things straight away. We are using Kju One today, which is basically the industry standard for such workflows, and we have connected our camera directly to one of the USB-Cs the ProArt offers. And while we are on the subject of ports, in addition to a second USB-C you can use for an additional screen or an external SSD, a pair of USB-As for backup drives or peripherals, the P16 also sports a full-size SD card reader with very snappy transfers should you want to offload your content directly from your camera. Both USB-Cs also allow for charging, which is especially handy when you're traveling and only want to carry a smaller charger, for example. Last but not least, you of course also get an HDMI, which we use today to connect a small mobile screen, also from Asus's ProArt lineup, so I can check the incoming images in my set without having to turn around to my laptop all the time. But let's circle back to Kju One for now and to the AMD CPU powering the P16. The application actually needs exactly two things. For one, you need quite a bit of performance to preview the raw images or do on-the-fly corrections, and you need efficiency, since these kinds of commercial shoots can easily stretch over an entire day. And the last thing you would want if you are booked as a Digitech or digital support for a photo production is for your clients to have to wait for previews to load or jump from outlet to outlet to make sure your laptop has enough juice. The modern Strix Ryzen CPU easily combines both. With 12 cores and high clock speeds, you get more than enough pure computing grunt to do quick adjustments, batch corrections and fast exports. And at the same time, the P16 can easily last for a few hours on battery without compromising CPU performance. In addition, AMD integrated a pretty beefy built-in GPU, the RX 890M, and especially away from the wall, that one is incredibly handy for GPU-accelerated applications on battery, since you do not always have to rely on the dedicated solution right away. With their dial pad integrated into the pretty sizable touchpad, Asus also adds another layer of control, which allows you to interact not only with the P16 itself, since you can easily control things like system volume or display brightness, for example, but in the accompanying software, the ProArt also comes preloaded with a bunch of presets for all the major creative apps. Of course, you can also map your own functions to the dial, and I tried it in Kju One with the arrow keys, which allowed me to quickly and precisely scroll through our library. Another big advantage of tethering with your laptop is that you can start editing as soon as you're done shooting your content, since, well, you already have all your images right on your notebook, and the P16 immediately turns into a full-fledged workstation. In addition to the snappy AMD Ryzen CPU, it can be yours with up to 64 gigs of RAM for some very heavy multitasking, with a whole bunch of apps being open side by side, and with up to a 2TB SSD and the option to quickly add another drive, you should have more than enough storage capacity for even the longest shoots with the highest resolution cameras. When editing images, be it for some quick adjustments in Kju One or Lightroom, or when going into full-blown retouching in Photoshop, for example, your laptop's display is of course of vital importance. And again, the P16 offers quite a lot in this regard as well. We are dealing with an OLED here, and the Asus Lumina variant offers a very high resolution. It refreshes at a snappy 120 Hz and allows for touch inputs for intuitive navigation. With the extended contrast, you can easily judge exposure while shooting or when dialing in everything during your RAW conversion. And in addition, the panel panel is also properly calibrated from the factory, which means you can trust the colors, which is of course incredibly important, especially when doing product shoots, for example. In the ProArt control software, you can also perform your own manual calibration should the need arise, and with additional presets, you can customize the OLED display for additional color grading workflows, such as video editing, but more about that in a little bit. So I guess this is as good a time as any to talk about video, which has become an integral part of almost every content production today. And in addition to all the photo editing, I did almost all of the video editing and grading for this video on the P16 as well. As I have just mentioned, the sRGB mode in the ProArt software is incredibly important, especially when it comes to color grading. It allows us to do all of our adjustments and final look with ease, and the 16-incher can still handle our 6K RAW files from our Blackmagic camera without a problem. We edit and colorize all of our videos in DaVinci Resolve, and the combination of the AMD Ryzen AI 9 HX370 for effects and a snappy system in general, and the dedicated NVIDIA GPU with up to an RTX 5070 allows us to play back our timelines without any pre-rendering necessary, even with a full grade, which can make the ProArt P16 the perfect companion for pretty much everything required in modern content production. A professional appearance as a freelancer is a must, especially in the creative industry, and you should also be easy to work with, which of course involves reliable equipment. Your gear should never get in your way, but rather make your life easier and enable you to do your work quicker and better, ideally at the same time. And yes, I know this is a sponsored video, but back when I was still working as a retoucher and Digitech, the P16 would have definitely been on my shortlist when looking for a reliable computing companion, since, again, the performance you're getting in combination with long runtimes, a fast dedicated GPU and the gorgeous OLED display is a ton of fun. And it's all wrapped in a premium and subtly looking chassis with all the necessary ports, a great keyboard, a spacious touchpad and great speakers. And since you probably want to start creating right after purchasing your shiny new laptop, be it for university or when starting your freelancing career, every P16 comes with a 6-month CapCut and 3-month Adobe Creative Cloud subscription. But that should already be it for today. For more information about the ProArt, please check out the links in the video description. And down there, you can also find the links to the social media profiles, not only from our gorgeous shooting location, but also from our model Michael and, of course, my own, which you should definitely check out. We all appreciate your support here. Huge thanks to ASUS and AMD for sponsoring and supporting today's video, and please let me know in the comments about your content creation workflows and if your creative setup is due for an update anytime soon. That would be all from my end for now. Thanks a ton for watching, please leave a like and sub on your way out. My name is Alex, you have been absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Take care.